Welcome in, Sweet Phil here, and today I'm actually bringing you a very interesting build. This is not, I repeat, not going to be competing with the Infinity Lightning Sorceress or with the Hammered or with the Foedin or whatever type of build that you love slapping down the Chaos Sanctuary as fast as possible. This is a fun, interesting build for people who have put a ton of hours in the ladder. They got mules filled up with some extra gear. You could slap a character together that could be real interesting, look really goofy, really funny to your friends, and you could still be slapping down monsters with it. Now, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the gear first. Actually, on this one, I don't usually do it that way, but the gear is really the most important thing to this entire build by far. Now, first, we'll go ahead and take a look right here at the literal most important part to this wolf barbarian that we're making here, and that is Wolf Howl. Now, it does have 2 to war cries, but that's not the most important part here. It's the 4 to Feral Rage, 5 to Lycanthropy, 6 to Werewolf. Now, all 3 of those skills are going to be very beneficial. The Feral Rage is actually the attack skill that you're going to use on this, and the Lycanthropy and the Werewolf, you know, help each other out there in the werewolf form. Now, it does have the strength, the dexterity, and vitality. There is no way to make this budget werewolf barbarian without this item. You have to have it. Now, for the weapon here, you could go with a lot of different options, but I think this is probably by far the best budget option in my opinion. It's the same thing that they use when they make a regular werewolf druid. You throw on an upped rib cracker. I shelled it to get a faster increased attack speed on there, so that way you can get attacking even faster. For the armor, I went with just a budget for treachery, pretty common for melee characters, bunch of increased attack speed. The fade is very important as well. Get your resistances up, and you will also get like a damage reduction property from the fade. Now, boots over here, we've got Gore Riders, pretty standard for melee characters once again. Deadly Strike, Open Wounds, Crushing Blow, Walk Run, bunch of good stuff there. Over on the gloves, another one very common for melee characters, Laying of Hands, just because of 350% damage to demons. You also get the Fire Res to help you out, and 20% increased attack speed. Now, taking a look at the belt, I decided to go with Trang's belt. This is where I decided to get Cannot Be Frozen. You really have to have Cannot Be Frozen on a melee character, or you're going to be stuck in the mud every time you get cold. Now, for one ring, I got a Plague Loop rare ring here. It's a dual leech. It's got some mana, it's got some resistance on it, but this is where I get my mana leech from. You don't need a lot of it because Feral Rage takes, it was either 3 or 4 mana. I believe it was 3. So two mana leech, 1% mana leech would be perfectly fine. So I threw on a dual leech ring here. It does have a little attack rating as well, which slightly will help you out. Speaking of attack rating, we're going to look over at the ring and amulet combo here. I went with the dual angelics. Super cheap, super easy to find. They're very low level items, but 75 to life for the partial set on the amulet. And then you get 1000 to attack rating when you have the ring on as well. So that attack rating goes from like a 30% chance to hit certain monsters up to like a 70 or 80% chance. It is absolutely amazing. You do get a little dex there as well. And not really, 3 to light radius on the amulet. Let's go, baby. But also on Switch, semi-important, a couple of Warcry Sticks. You can shop these straight from Mala over here. You just come over, trade, look around till you find what you're looking for. You do want to try to get 3s and 3s here. I have a 2 and a 3. I did have another 3, but then I didn't want to put 30 points into Dex just to get 1 extra to Warcry. So I just went and shopped for a second, found one that had 2, and didn't really worry about it. So that's what I'm rocking here for the gear. Down here, max damage, attack rating, life, any combo, even if it's just max and attack rating, you could throw it on there to help you out. Life, any all res or the resistances you are lacking, fill these up down here. But for the purposes of the video, I went ahead and didn't put any down in here. You could shift some skill points around perhaps when I show you that in a second if you had different charms and stuff like that. Take a look at the mercenary. For a melee character, this is a pretty standard mercenary setup anyways. Reaper's Toll, we've got treachery and a Tal Rasha's Heralded Crest, so another treachery over here, ethereal or non-ethereal, whatever you can get. Same thing over here, ethereal, non-ethereal, whatever you can get for the Reaper's Toll. Up here, you could go with the Andaro's Visage and stuff. I figured that was maybe a little bit too hard to find or whatever, and you'll be a-okay with Tal Rasha's Heralded Crest over there. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at the stats now. Enough strength to wear your gear. If you had a better base for your treachery on your barbarian, you could go, if you had a Dust Shroud, you could keep the strength much lower because you'd only need up to 129 strength to wear the Wolf Howl. It's not completely wasted on a melee character because You do deal more damage when you have more strength. Down here under dexterity, I did not add any extra points. You don't really need to unless, you know, depending on if you swap around any other gear, but if you go with exactly what I got, you won't need to. Dumped everything into vitality. Obviously, you can tell I did not put any points here into energy. Now, the resistances, you can see they are not looking great. And remember, though, when that fade procs, these will jump up. After the fade procs, these are almost all capped out. These ones, lightning and poison, I think are at like 60 or something like that, and these ones are capped out over here. So now we'll jump at this skill tree, and crazy enough, I don't know if it's crazy, was unaware of this until I learned it semi-recently here, because I never really did a rib cracker on a barb, but mace mastery actually goes towards staffs. So I did test it out. I put a bunch of points in mace mastery, seeing the attack rating go up, up, up as I was putting points into it. So it is indeed true. So I maxed out mace mastery. I put 1, 1, 1, 1 down here until I got to the end, and I realized where else was I going to put these points? I could put some more points into maybe find item or something like that. I went, my resistances are pretty low. Why don't, I mean, I got this skill. Everyone always puts 1 point into it. Maybe since I'm budget, I don't have that great of gear. I'll just put more points into natural resistance to get my resistances a little bit higher. So that's what I went ahead and did. So the 13 number right here is just my remaining points after I put the other stuff in. Over on combat skills, I just put 1 point into leap. That way, kind of the only reason I use this is like going into the Chaos Sanctuary, leaping over the different lava pools or whatever to get into the Chaos Sanctuary instead of running around the little maze to get around. It's optional if you have a telly staff or you want to swap out gear and then telly in and then swap your rib cracker on or something like that. It's all up to you. If you're rich enough to have Enigma, you could do that. This is an optional point right here just for traveling. Now, over on the war cries, I maxed out all of Shout, Battle Orders, and Battle Command. Now, the reason I did that is because in order to cast this stuff, you have to come out of werewolf form, cast the stuff back into werewolf form. I didn't want to do that a whole bunch. So, you see for Shout, you get increased duration, and for Battle Commands, you get increased duration for... They also kind of synergize with each other, I'm trying to say. So, when I maxed them all out, you get 440 seconds on all 3 of these. So Battle Commands increases your skill levels, so cast that, then go ahead and cast your Battle Orders, so then you can get the life and the mana and all that stuff. Max stamina, ooh. And then up here, Shout, this will give you increased defense. Now higher defense will cause you to hit less, which is generally good. Some people argue that then your fade won't proc as fast and you might cause issue with that. I never really have a problem with that. I try to, you know, get more defense so while you're playing longer, you will indeed get hit less. Now I just went 1 point down to find item. Now it's not the highest. You will swap over to your Warcry Sticks when you go ahead and do the find item. So you see you have a 40% chance right there to get an item. If you put a bunch of points into this, you can get up. You're not gonna be able to max these all out unless that's the route you really want to go. But generally, even if you put the extra 13 points over here, you're going to get like 52, 56, something like that % chance. I decided to get the survivability. And not to mention, every time you want to find item, you have to go out of werewolf form, use the find item, and you have no faster cast rate, I will mention. So it's incredibly slow, and then get back to werewolf form. So I would definitely only hit the exact champions and bosses or whatever that you can find item on. In order to use that, I would not be using it all the time. Now we'll go to a super commonplace just to kind of test out and show you. We're going to shout all these up, hit with the shouts, go back to the rib cracker, go ahead and get your werewolf form going, and then we're going to go ahead and come out here and start slapping Eldritch and his little crew. Now you see it takes just a couple of hits. Once you get wound up, you get the little red ball going around you. You start attacking a little bit faster, start moving a little bit faster. It is only a level 4 Feral Rage. But you see you can just slap my mercenary, actually rip that guy out. Now I will show you here, if you do want to go ahead and find item, you have to come out of that, use the find item, and then go ahead and come back to find item. It can be a little bit on the annoying side to do that. That's why I recommend only do it once in a great while when there's that champion you want to hit, not for every regular monster. Now when we're traveling into the Chaos Sanctuary, you can go ahead and jump over all of these different rivers of lava and stuff. That way you don't have to run around the little bit mazes. And like I said, it is optional. It's up to you. Or if you have better gear, telly staff, whatever you feel like doing. Let's go ahead and go back into the Feral Rage. and come up here and start slapping. Now you do got to watch out. The only thing that I did kind of notice when I was coming into the Chaos Sanctuary, there's a lot of undead in here. You do not leech life from undead monsters. So even these casters are undead. These, what do you call them? Oblivion Knights and stuff are undead. Venom Lords are not undead. So actually, even though they deal more damage and they have more life, the Venom Lords are kind of easier to survive against, to be perfectly honest. Now you see it's not the craziest fastest, but 2, 3, maybe 4 hits if you miss a few is all you need, and you kind of slap these monsters down. Now you do lack the area of effect damage, I understand, but between you and your mercenary, you're coming in here slapping away. You'll be okay. Now here goes a champion over here, and once again, I am not leeching anything from him, so you will have to use a potion or two if you don't come across any monsters that are not undead. Now once again, I'll show you. You have to kind of come out of that, come over here, and then do the find item, hopefully with your spears on or whatever. Though didn't get nothing out of those, but and it might not be a bad time to go ahead and re-up your stuff if you want to. Get up there and move on. I'll head over to Grand Vizier first and show you how it works over there. We'll go ahead and take out Grand Vizier. I do want to note, here's just a regular attack as well. The Feral Rage really doesn't add that crazy amount of damage, so if you do run out of mana and everything, it's not a huge deal to really worry about. It does actually only add a little bit of damage. The attack rating from 77 to 79% chance of hitting, so it's really not a huge deal if you run out of mana also, or using the Feral Rage skill. It just really adds, you know, some faster walk run with the charges and the extra life steal and stuff like that. We'll go up to the Desaces group over here. A little bit tough over here. You know how they can be a little bit dangerous, but if you do got to play it a little bit safe with a budget character, just how budget characters are in general, especially budget melee characters when you're really getting up in their business. But Desace really isn't that strong himself. It's this whole group around him you got to watch out for. Now we'll go ahead and do the same thing again. I'll just hop out of this, switch it, come over to the item find thing. Item find on the main bosses over here. Where's Desace? Didn't get nothing out of him. Maybe I'll item find a few more, but just look how slow it is though, so you really don't want to item find everything. It'll just take way too long. Alrighty, now over here for Infector. Could be a little bit of a struggle. Mercenary got racked over. I don't even know where he was, unfortunately, but we'll go ahead and clear some more of this out here and take out Infector. Now we're just gonna go ahead and go right after Infector. If I can get a claw on him. Chop, 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 crushing blow, deadly strike, no problem, boom, down he goes. So, pretty easy clear of Infector and other stuff, but you can see that the life and the resistances are actually up to 75% here, but you still get hit a little bit. It is a budget character once again. We'll go ahead and walk into Diablo now. Let's go ahead and grab this potion. And why not grab a shrine while it's here? Now let's see how fast or slow we're working over here on Diablo. Now we are missing a little bit. We'll go ahead and take a look at 93% chance to hit Diablo. It does not look like that, I'm going to be honest. But at least we have a really high chance. The crushing blow is crocking off there, you see. Keep swinging away with our Feral Rage here, and he will go down in no time. Boom, there we go, embossed plate. Ooh, nothing crazy, but now if you really like that interesting build, check this video right up over here. It's a proc Barbarian, a proc throw bar, very interesting. I got a playlist up over here with a bunch of different crazy builds that you can go ahead and check out. And right over here is another video that YouTube really thinks you're going to like, so make sure you check that one out too.